Welcome into the TexAgs Rewind, presented by the four-time Retailer of the Year. That would be Specs. And we're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Popo, McKinley Polanski, favorite part of the show was?
My favorite part of the show was JD PicKell.
Why?
Well, I
ask you why, McKinley.
But ask you why. I think that was my first time being at Social Center, hearing him on the show, and I know he's been on before, but I just really like to hear what he talks about, how he talks about A&M. I always see him on X, and I just love his work, and it was great to hear what he had to say.
It's interesting. You've never said you've seen me on X and love my work. Let's go to Nick Savage. Nick, your favorite part of the show?
I'm going to say JD PicKell, too, because he's my boy, because he rocks. He's a super nice guy. I love to hang out with him whenever we get to SEC Media Days and whatnot.
Okay. Does that mean Josh Pate didn't make the cut?
Well, I talked to Josh Pate in more of a professional manner. Hello, Mr. Pate. Will you please come with me to the TexAgs set? But it's like JD, like, hey, JD, what's up?
What's up, son?
Come? Let's do a hit. Let's do it. All right.
How do you think I talked to Josh?
Y'all are friends. Like, you went to his wedding, didn't you? Yeah, so it's like, y'all are friends.
Kind of makes me feel like I'm a big deal in college football royalty when we do that. Who's on the rewind, Nick?
OB, Nuno, that's on the rewind. Josh Pate on the rewind. JD PicKell on the rewind. Luke Evangelist itching his knee is now on the rewind.
That's weird.
But he's not the fourth segment. That would be Jordan Pugh.
All right, all that and a bag of chips, whatever that means, on the rewind.
Okay.
I think it's kind of easy, no, Chris?
Well, if we're going to say, how we spell week here? Because if you're going to say WEAK, I'm just going to say the LSU Tigers.
Oh.
Overall.
Yeah.
But beyond that.
Or if you were talking about weeks.
Yeah, well, he didn't even show. Well, his brother did.
Yeah.
I got to start with KC Concepcion. The punt return for a touchdown was magnificent. It was beautiful. It was art. And then he also had the touchdown catch where he came back for the ball. Ran well when he had, on some runs. I thought KC was among several spectacular players. Among those, some of the guy throwing to KC was pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. So I have KC on my list. I have Marcel on my list. I also have the offensive line on my list.
They were great.
They've been great, right?
Yeah.
How many times has he been sacked? Marcel been sacked recently?
I think this is now 3 games in a row without a sack.
That's pretty darn good, my friend.
That's 0.
Yeah, that's 0. Anybody on defense?
Well, yeah, but I want one more guy on offense.
Do it.
And he only had 1 catch, but damn.
Was it the one-handed?
Ashton Bethel Roman, man, you make catches like that. It's a damn shame that they didn't.
Look, OB, I got him on my list right here. ABR.
I didn't, get to be watching like ESPN Top 10 or anything. I can't imagine there was a more spectacular play made Saturday
so beautiful.
than that one.
He's emerged the last few weeks, right?
Yeah. Defense, gosh. Well, Cassius Howell.
Mashes Howell. Mashing fools.
Mash them. Smashes Howell.
Smash and mash.
Crashes Howell.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of any more.
Well, give me that.
Luscious? No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, what's that? I mean, Polanski over there probably thinks he's luscious, but I don't go that way. Anyway, the way he was slashing there, he was slashes Hal.
Slashes Hal, yeah.
There's no limit to the rhymes.
Outside of just the winning and losing, just the way they go about their press conferences, the way they talk, the way they are about that life.
So a couple of things there. All right, let's unpack that. So Mike Elko fits Texas A&M because he embraces what Texas A&M is. But even if he embraces all that and he doesn't win, he won't be a fit because you'll get rid of him because he's not doing what you brought him there to do. Brian Kelly came to LSU, and everyone focused on, like the accent stuff and how clownish some of the early sound bites were and all that. And I had fun with it too, but I maintained none of this will matter if he embraces the resources there and he wins, because that's really what fit is anywhere. He didn't do that. He didn't embrace the resources. Like, that's the biggest crime he committed there, is he took one of the best jobs in the country and he didn't embrace what it had to offer. Also, my smoke alarm's going off if you hear that. All right, we're good. Never mind. House is not on fire, David. Okay, so they looked at him and they thought, and just like I thought, hey, we don't care if you have a Southern accent. By the way, don't fake it if you don't have one. That's a bigger crime. But also, like, just embrace the resources Louisiana has to offer. Well, he came down there and didn't do any of that and checked out on recruiting. And that's stuff Mike Elko will never do. Okay, that's why I have confidence in saying Mike Elko fits at Texas A&M. He fits there because he didn't go to Texas A&M asking, what can A&M do for me? He kind of went in there saying, what can I do for A&M while A&M does something for me? Like that's a give and take. That's mutually beneficial. I don't think Brian Kelly ever asked for a second, what can I do for LSU? He just asked, what can LSU do for me? And you know what? That's partly his fault. But I'll also say this. Don't you have to more thoroughly vet him in the hiring process? Now, this sounds like revisionist history or Monday morning quarterbacking on my part, but I think it's kind of fair. I sitting in Columbus, Georgia, where I was at the time, or I guess I was in Nashville by that time, I didn't have the kind of perspective on Brian Kelly I probably needed to, but I also didn't have the access to him that anyone who's going to hire him had. And you go back and look at all these Notre Dame folks and look at all the reactions they had when he left, and they laid it out. They spelled it out perfectly. I mean, they were basically very prophetic in their own right in talking about what was going to happen with him at LSU. So it wasn't like it was unable to be known. It just wasn't adhered to. It wasn't listened to.
I think a lot of what you just said when it comes to the context around A&M with how you track them, if you're a casual fan, you're still waiting for the other shoe to drop and saying, well, but it's Texas A&M. Well, but Texas A&M, wait till November, wait till they get down the stretch. I'm sure they'll blow it. If you're a casual fan that's been watching since September and you've seen what they've done against Notre Dame, all the games we spoke to before, I think you're slowly but surely starting to buy in and say what we just said a second ago. Okay, this team feels different. And the biggest differentiating factor to me for this team from what they were a year ago, outside of what we just talked about with the psychology and the weaponry, like Marcel Reed is just a different dude. He changes the entire complexion of what A&M is capable of doing. And so if I'm a casual fan, I'm watching number 10 and I'm like, was he on the team a year ago? Like, did they get him through? When did they get a Heisman caliber quarterback? Because like Johnny Manziel graduated a long time ago. Who is that dude? And so I think seeing him and what he's capable of, it's the stuff in structure he does. It's the out of structure stuff. Like as long as number 10 is touching the football every play, I feel like we have a chance about A&M. And I think casual fans seeing him understand that's a different dude back there pulling the trigger.
I'm not disagreeing with you about Marcel, by the way, but I'm just going to provide a little bit of my thinking behind it. I think Marcel was Marcel's definitely a better version this year than he was last year. There's no doubt. And he's got some better playmakers around him to help. But to me, Marcel's legend, I may have told you this in Atlanta, but the legend of Marcel took a step back because of the last year's defense. Because Marcel did put them in positions to win so many games in the last minute. I'm just going to give you two quick examples. The Auburn game and also the USC game. Okay, so I say that to you. It was the defense the last couple of minutes of those games that let them down. And if you add two more wins to Marcel's resume, you're talking about a 10-win Texas A&M team last year, including the bowl game. And we're feeling completely different about him entering this season. This year, though, he's better. He's got playmakers that give you the big play. They don't have to only rely on Le'Veon Moss. And oh, by the way, the defense has had moments where it has struggled, but for the most part, when you lead the nation in sacks and you can get 7 against LSU and you continue to stop the run in the second half of games and outrun rush teams consistently because of the way you stop the run and the way you're able to get the run going, to me, it's like all these other things is allowing us to put this spotlight on Marcel. Does that kind of jive with your thinking?
I told you, defense is about chaos, organized chaos. And you see that every single week with him. But here's the deal. The biggest thing with him is he has a plan, and he is stuck to that plan. And he has got the people around him in order to help facilitate that plan. And I think that's what's been the recipe of success. So you saw it take place in year one, how he was laying the foundation. Now you're seeing the plan move forward, how he's acquired players, how he's been strategic within the portal, the type of coaching staff that he's brought together. But then you see the game plan each and every week. And it's starting to come to fruition. But most importantly, you're seeing the team get better every single week, from week 1 all the way to week 8 for us. We have improved in every facet, from the offensive side to the defensive side. We even improved a little bit on penalties this week, even though that's still a bugaboo for us, right? But you're seeing the improvement, and that's the thing that is dangerous. When you're playing a team that hasn't peaked yet, when you're playing a team that continues to improve week in and week out, that's when, if you're an opposing unit, you're like, man, I don't know. We got to be on our P's and Q's. And that's what you're seeing with Elko, man. He's very tight-lipped, very structured. But most importantly, he sticks to the plan and he makes you stick to the standard. That's what's important. And you're seeing that take place in the players on the team.
All right. You know I can be cheesy on this show and in real life.
Yeah, we do know that. Yeah,
thanks for agreeing.
We still love you, though. We still love you.
You were supposed to say, like, no, man, you're the hippest guy I know.
Hey, man, I got to be able to speak truths, man.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
you do keep it real. So we know what BAS stands for, right? Like, BAS stands for Battered Aggie Syndrome. Why not believe and succeed, Jordan? Why don't we rebrand it? Because the thing's different. Believe Aggie, succeed. Believe it. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, we're in a new era, and excuse the bad joke with it, but like, that's where we want to get to, and we're getting closer to believing.
There was a movie I watched this weekend, so I need to preface my statement, okay? I have 2 daughters, okay? I have an 8 and a 7-year-old.
I know where this is going.
There's a movie that I watched. Well, actually, 2 movies that come to mind now. The Princess Diaries, okay? And Miss Congeniality. Okay, why did I bring those 2 up? Because they were always beautiful girls and beautiful women. But then when they found out how beautiful they were, all of a sudden their mindset changed. And that's where we are now at A&M. We are the pretty girl now. Now, we've always had what we needed. We've always had the resource. We've had the fan base. We've had the players. But now we're starting to see the other side of success, because that's the work, the standard, everything that we talked about with Elko that he's put in. Now it's one thing to garner the attention. It's one thing to accept who you are.
All right, Polanski, close it out. I want you to tell the people what to do and then mix in the new BAS.
Oh, okay. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, and we're going to put BTA to Mizzou next week.
I love that. Or BAS for Believe and Succeed.
Or that.
Cheesy Hallmark card that nobody in A&M will ever use. That's what the new BAS is. We'll see you then.